You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
Now, are you in where you write? Is that the room you write in right now?
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's been remodeled
Looks
since
nice.
COVID. Thanks. It used to be this like dingy hole, but with COVID, we're like, well, let's, fix this up while we have the chance. So yeah, now it's kind of my dream office.
Now, do you write outside of that room? In other words, I don't know, you're at the park. Do you ever go anywhere outside there to write?
No, never. No,
Really?
I'm one
Wow.
of those people. No, I need complete silence and I need complete, aloneness. When I wrote the first book of the Henrietta and Clive series, I used to try to edit like at the kids' basketball game or the swimming lesson
Mm.
or something like that. And I quickly realized that was just not effective. I need a lot of focus and concentration to really
I d-
do my best work.
and just doing some research, you shove the kids off to school and you lock in for 8 hours or whatever before they come home, and that's your window of opportunity to write.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have to write the very first thing in the morning because that's when my brain is the freshest.
Really, it's the
So
opposite for me.
I know I used to be the other way, but I have all these years of kids, it's switched.
True, true.
So yeah, I write first thing and then maybe for an hour and a half, and then my brain kind of fizzles, and then I switch to marketing and do marketing for about 6 hours.
Okay, so you have a
Seven.
you have a pattern.
Yeah.
Ever try an original story outside of historical fiction? A fictional story that has nothing to do with history. Did you ever pursue
So
that?
you mean more like a contemporary
Yeah,
story?
exactly right. Yeah.
No, I haven't, but because I'm very old fashioned myself
Mm.
and I love, the past and I love the like big band music. So if I could choose to be anywhere, it would probably be there. So writing a story set in a modern day, time to me seems very daunting. I think because I would have to include so much technology into it. And I'm like, but I will say that I keep getting a lot of very interesting ideas. And I think
Something's
that,
brewing then.
yeah, something's brewing
You got to combine
someday.
the history, like a time machine or something,
Exactly.
whatever's going on there. Now, your
Yeah.
books, your website is great, by the way. It's like a
Oh,
whole
thanks.
plethora of information. I'm
Thanks.
always fascinated I have a photography background and video and stuff, but who does the covers on your book? Do you have any choice on that? Because they're pretty nice,
Thank
elaborate
you.
covers. I mean, they're really like suck me. Like if I see a movie title, I get sucked in. I don't even know what the movie's about or an image, a poster, a book. I see them like these are really
Oh,
nice
thanks.
covers. So who does that? Do you have
Thanks.
any input?
Thank you. I do get a lot of compliments on the cover, so I'm really happy with that. I'm published with She Writes Press, so they are a hybrid press, um, uh, headquartered in Berkeley, and they do the covers, so they have a cover designer. But what's great about this particular publishing company is that the author gets a lot of creative input into the covers. And unlike most traditional publishing companies, the author gets the final say. So that's a kind of a huge perk of
Oh,
going with them.
nice. Now, what's the name of the company again?
It's called She Writes Press.
Okay, okay. Now,
Yeah.
any movie or TV offers that after about your books or about your stuff that
Yeah, I
you
mean, it's a great question, and I'm trying. Don't mean to brag, but I get
brag, 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 please.
hundreds of, literally hundreds of emails from readers saying, when is this going to be on Netflix? When can I see this? And
Really?
I'm
Okay.
like, you tell me. So I've tried to make little inroads into Hollywood, which is a whole other universe, as you can imagine.
Hmm.
And I do have a film attorney looking at the first two books, and she's reading those. So we'll see. I'm always kind of looking for an avenue. It's kind of one of those things where I think it's, not what you know, but who you know.
I
So
mean, true. Now, how long from the very first page, you sit down in that room, of course,
And only here, yeah.
Yeah, and you start your thing and you're like, okay, Joe, whatever, until the final product. I'm sure it varies with different books, but in general, I mean, it's to me it seems daunting. Writing is a very skillful set that I'm not good at, but uh, how long from the first page, all the
Yeah.
rewrites, all that stuff until it's on the shelf.
Oh, geez, that's a hard one. Yeah, it really depends. Okay, so probably the first book of the series, A Girl Like You, that probably took maybe about a year to write and edit, which is kind of fast, really.
Really?
And then it took from the time I signed the contract with She Writes Press, it took a year and a half for it to come out, which is long for them. Usually they can get a book out in a year. So, but like book 2 of the series, I was so on fire. I wrote that book in 68 days. Just cranked it out. And book 3 also came very quickly. But then by the time I got to book 4, that took over a year to write because by that time I was pretty entrenched in the marketing. And so I was really doing a lot of traveling and it really slowed me down. So it kind of just depends on what's going on in my life. But one thing I'm excited about is that with this new book coming out in March, I'm self-publishing that.
Okay.
So, and then I'm going to self-publish a spin-off series. And the advantage there is that you can get a book out much more quickly. So you don't need that year that traditional publishers sometimes takes 2 years to get your book out.
But
So,
what is the pros and cons of that? Is it better to have a publisher push your book or self-publish? I mean, everybody wants the greatest novel ever, and movies and stuff. But what's the pros and cons of self-publishing compared to a publisher?
well, that's about an 800-hour question. No, I'll give you briefly what's good about self-publishing is that you are in control of the whole project and also you are in control of the marketing. So with a one thing that's happening in traditional publishing is that there's less and less dollars allotted to authors for PR and marketing. So all the big names get all the money, which they don't need. So I don't know. So a lot of traditionally published authors are having to hire their own marketing people, which is, kind of ridiculous. But with She Writes Press, we also have to hire our own PR people, our own marketing people, if you want to go that route. But the hard thing is that if you really want to advertise your book and run ads and all that kind of stuff, what you need to be successful is you need that daily data to see if your ad is working. And with a traditional publisher or She Writes Press, a hybrid, you only get a royalty statement every, 4 times a year. So it makes that really hard. So what's exciting about self-publishing is that you are kind of really in the driver's seat in terms of running your own business and really making it work.
How about social media, pushing it? I mean, it seems everybody you want to push something on social media. How much does that factor in? I'm thinking it's huge. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, I think that social media is super important for visibility and also for maybe trying to connect to your readers in a more sort of organic way. To help them get to know you as a person more. It's not about, buy my book, because that's a huge turnoff, obviously. And then you have some platforms like TikTok, which are, on fire right now. Book Talk is huge.
okay.
Some people are making 6 figures from, their book taking off on Book Talk. But the problem there is that it's really geared to fantasy and romance are the big genres on TikTok. So I'm trying to kind of break into there, but it's been tough.